Hello, welcome dear students. We shall start a new point, that is the inflorescence. That is the inflorescence. Inflorescence means the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, means on the stem or on the branch, means arrangement of flowers on the floral axis or the stem is called inflorescence. Means how the flowers are arranged on the stems, which is known as floral axis, and the arrangement is called inflorescence. फूलों की व्यवस्था कैसे उनके शाखों पे होती है, इस अध्ययन को हम लोग इन्फ्लोरेसेंस के नाम से जानते हैं. Now, actually we know that the flowers are open either on the terminals, apex, or either on the lateral. Means the flowers bloom either on the apex or on the lateral side. One thing you should know, if the flower blooms at the apex, its growth is inhibited. यदि apex पर फूल उड़ जाता है, फूल निकल आता है, तो उसका ग्रोथ, उस शाख का ग्रोथ वहीं बंद हो जाता है. That is the termination of growth. और लेकिन यदि साइड में निकलता है तो ये कंटिन्यू चलते जाता है. इसका मतलब दैट इज indefinite growth and that is definite growth. On that basis, where the flowers is blooming, where the flowers bloom, we divide the inflorescence in two types. One is racemose and second one is cymose. We divide the flowers in two types. One is racemose, next one is cymose. Racemose means flowers never bloom on apex. Flowers never bloom on apex. It blooms laterally. So the growth is indefinite. Example, mustard, China rose, and then this is the, although it is of several types, it may be raceme, a spike, column etc. But you have to know, according to a syllabus, that it is in which the flowers bloom laterally, and so the growth is indefinite. Whereas cymose, just opposite of the raceme, flowers bloom at apex plus bloom at apex. So the growth is restricted. So the growth is, and the new flowers arise below it. यानी ये फूल अब नए फूल जो यहां से निकलेंगे, ये बंद हो गया, फिर यहां से निकलेंगे. As for example, jasmine. So these are the two types. One is racemose and next one is cymose. And the cymose is also, it is of several types. If the one flower is bloom at the apex, this is called monochasial. If the two flowers bloom that is dichasial. If many flowers bloom at a point, that is polychasial. So there are several types, but you should know that racemose and cymose, two are the main types of inflorescence. Topic is the flower. The most important parts of the plant, understand? And we know that flower is a modified shoot. Flower is a modified shoot. If you see the flowers, suppose the flower, if you see, it is the thalamus on which the floral members rises. There are sepals, there are petals, these are stamens, and this all sepal petals are. You see that this is the node and this is internodes, means nodes and internode. Although the internodes are in reduced to form, and the floral like leaf appendages which are found on the stem, and they develop into sepals, petals. They are modified into sepals and petals like that. Sepals is green in color, and it is also like a leaf. You can say that this is the modified leaves like a structure. So the things which are found on the stem, they are also found on the flowers. So we can say that flower is a modified shoot. Now the main thing is that flower is the reproductive unit of the plant. Flower is the reproductive unit of the plant. I will know that flowering plant is called angiospermic plant, means this is the angiospermic. So we shall study about the angiospermic plants reproductive organs, that is flower. Understand? And if you draw the figure of a flower, you see that so this is a flower. It has certain parts. This is called pedicel. This is called sepals. This is called petal. This is called a stamen. This is the flower. This is pedicel. This is the green part is sepal. The colored part is petal. And this is a stamen. And this one is known as pistils. They are the four main parts of the flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pedicel, that is जिसको हम हिंदी में डंठल कहते हैं. If the pedicel is present, that is called pedicellate. यदि फूल में डंठल हो तो उसको pedicellate कहेंगे. If the pedicel is absent, that will called sessile. If the pedicel is absent, that will call sessile. Now the sepals, that is green parts of the plant, and the collection of sepals is called calyx. Petals is the colored part. They are generally other than green, and their collection is known as corolla. Third one is stamen. It is the male reproductive unit. Male reproductive unit, and it is also called androecium. Pistil is the female reproductive unit. It is also called gynoecium. So the four main parts: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, in which these two, that is androecium and gynoecium, they are essential organs. It is also called reproductive organs, and these two are called accessory organs. ये दोनों सहायक अंग कहे जाते हैं और ये मेन मुख्य. So this is the all about flowers, that is flowers. If the pedicel is present, that is pedicellate. If the pedicel is absent, that is sessile. And the main four, flowers contain these main four parts, that is sepals, petals, first, second, third, fourth. These are the main four parts of a complete flower: sepals, petals, stamens, and pistils. These are the sepal. Sepal is the outermost part. So sepals, petals, stamens, pistils means first, second, third, fourth. They are the four main parts of the flowers, and if these are present, that flower is called complete flower. Now some terms which are used to describe the flowers. Understand? If the flower contains all the four parts, that is sepals, petals, stamens and pistil, means calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. If all parts are present, that will called complete flower. That will called absence of any one. Is called incomplete. Absence of anyone is called incomplete. If the flower contains both stamens and pistil, means both male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ, is called bisexual. Flower contains only one sex, that is either male or female, that is called unisexual. If it contains stamens, that is male, then it is called staminate. If only a stamen is present, that will called staminate. If only pistil is present, that is called pistillate. This is the male, this is the symbol of male, and this is the symbol of female. So only if the flower is unisexual, if it contains stamens in male reproductive organ, that will call staminate. If it contains female reproductive organ, that will call pistillate. Now, the sepals and petals. Sepals and petals are arranged in two ways. This is, suppose when it will be sepal, when they will be separate, when the sepals are free, then it will be called polysepalous. And when they are united, yes, when they are united, then called gamosepalous. When the sepals are free, that is called polysepalous. When they are united, they will call it gamosepalous. In the same way, when the petals are free, they will call polypetalous. When they are unite, they will call gamopetalous. यदि वो अलग अलग हो तो पॉलीसेपलस या पॉलीपेटलस कहलाएगा. यदि अलग साथ हो, यूनाइटेड हो, संयुक्त हो, उसे गैमोसेपलस है. गैमो मीन्स यूनाइटेड. on the end, गैमो means united. When they are found in the united conditions, they will be called gamosepalous or gamopetalous, and when they are free, they are separate from each other, they are called polysepalous or polypetalous. Now the next term is actinomorphic. If the flower is cut into identical halves from any sides, that is radially symmetrical. That is radially symmetrical, then it is called actinomorphic. And if next one is zygomorphic, if it cut into two halves only from one way, that is bilateral symmetrical. Bilateral symmetrical is called zygomorphic and this is called actinomorphic. Number of the appendages means number of sepals, number of petals, number of stamens, venosa. If they are 3, then it will called trimerous. If they are 4 each, that is tetramerous, penta, and polymerous, like that. And that parts on which all these are situated, that organs on which all floral members are located, जिस पर सभी फ्लोरल मेंबर्स यानी सेपल्स, पेटल्स, एंड्रोसियम, गाइनोसियम जो सभी पाए जाते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड थैलेमस. So these are the some words which I use to describe about the flowers.